The Hall of Souls had brought 7 experts at the saint level. From the perspective of the entire Central Plains, this was already a tremendous force. Moreover, the strongest among them was at the 6-star DOU SHENG level. This was the recently arrived Hun Qian Mo. But from the Heavenly Palace Alliance, there were a full 10 saints. Who were they? Could it be that in the 2 years while Xiao Yan was inside the demonic flame space, the strength of the alliance had grown so dramatically? Let's take a look at who these 10 saints actually are. The expressions of the great elders from some major factions clearly showed what they were feeling as they witnessed this scene. The Hall of Souls chief indifferently swept his eyes across the surrounding crowd of people. Laughter rang out in the air. Immediately after, everyone watched as the space on the other side of the fallen mountain rapidly distorted. After the appearance of 10 figures, the dark and cold atmosphere caused by the monstrous Dou Qi radiating from the Hall of Souls group gradually warmed up again. At this moment, everyone quietly breathed a sigh of relief. Such a battle was expected to be far too terrifying. Just the leaking auras alone were enough to change the surrounding temperature. The Heavenly Palace Alliance really does have 10 saints. Everyone carefully examined the number of people who had arrived from the Heavenly Palace Alliance. It seemed as if the Heavenly Palace Alliance had brought all the experts they possessed. So, let's start counting on our fingers. The first one is naturally Xiao Yan, 5-star saint. He is the young alliance chief, an inspiration to everyone. The second, Xiao Chen, 5-star saint. His fierce attacks were able to seriously injure the Hall of Souls chief. The third, Yao Lao, 1-star saint. An experienced alchemist and fighter. The fourth, Ancestor Hua Yun. His strength had risen to 2-star saint thanks to medicinal pills. The fifth, Xiao Yixian at 1-star saint. She had recently broken through to the DOU SHENG level, but her poisonous body is extremely special. The sixth, Qing Lin, also 1-star saint. Her snake-like eye abilities are astonishing. The seventh, Fairy Qing from the Flower faction. She too had reached the saint level, as she had recently been at the peak of half-saint, Ban Sheng. The eighth, the first elder of the small Pill Tower at 2-star saint level. The ninth, the ancestor of the Pill Tower, 6-star saint. The strongest in Xiao Yan's group, a true 9th-rank alchemist. And who is the 10th? It seems there is no more familiar character left. Perhaps someone from the Gu clan will come to help, or Zi Yen will return from the Void Dragon tribe. No. As stated in the original, over these 2 years, the alliance was joined by one free, rogue, 1-star saint. His name and origin are not mentioned. Considering the reputation of the alliance, it is not surprising that they managed to attract an expert at the saint level. In total, the number of saints possessed by the alliance had reached a terrifying figure of 10 people. This lineup was comparable to some ancient clans. To be honest, it was even greater than that of some ancient clans. The atmosphere became much calmer. Obviously, everyone was stunned by the great power of the Heavenly Palace Alliance. The eyes of some old demons and great elders were filled with shock. No one had expected the strength of the Heavenly Palace Alliance to soar to such a degree. The Hall of Souls chief did not lose his composure upon seeing the lineup of the Heavenly Palace Alliance. With their information-gathering abilities, they already knew clearly about most of the alliance's strength. Therefore, he simply shifted his gaze and looked at the young man in black standing at the very front. That is, Xiao Yan. In his heart, he did not believe, or more precisely, it was difficult for him to believe, that Xiao Yan had escaped from the hands of the purifying flame and survived. A storm was approaching. It is time to put an end to our conflict. Many years of waiting had finally led to such a situation. However, Xiao Yan's mind remained calm. Once, he had been a young man who worked hard to defeat the Yunlan sect in the Jiama Empire. But then out of nowhere the Hall of Souls appeared. They captured his father and destroyed his clan. They had even nearly ended the bloodline of the Xiao clan. Such hatred could not be reconciled. Since then, the once somewhat gentle youth understood in his heart that his future path would be filled with difficulties. But he continued to move forward resolutely and without hesitation, because there were always things he could not ignore, no matter how extremely difficult they were. From a certain point of view, the Hall of Souls had played a major role in the making of the current Xiao Yan. They had given him powerful motivation. How bold! The old man Hun Mo, standing beside the Hall of Souls chief, laughed strangely and looked at Xiao Yan with a dark and cold expression. Xiao Yan indifferently glanced at him. He quickly shifted his gaze back to the Hall of Souls chief. Yes, a fierce battle is about to begin. The forces of the Heavenly Palace Alliance had already surpassed most ordinary factions, and were now comparable to the ancient clans thanks to their numerical superiority in saints. However, the Hall of Souls still held the advantage in quality and experience, especially thanks to the elite 6-star DOU SHENG expert. The key factor would be Xiao Yan, whose real combat power might exceed his nominal level. Also important was Xiao Chen with his ferocious power. And of course, the ancestor of the Pill Tower, who is the strongest in Xiao Yan's group. The hidden strength and possible reserves of both sides that have not yet been revealed are also important. Overall, the outcome of the battle is not predetermined, but for the first time the Alliance has gained a chance to fight on equal terms. These events held special significance in light of the recent disappearance of the Shure Clan. The Shure Clan was one of the 8 ancient clans. Although the Shure Clan was not as well known as the Gu Clan or the Hun Clan, it was still one of the 8 ancient clans and could not be taken lightly. The Shure Clan usually kept a low profile, and news related to this clan rarely spread, but keeping a low profile did not mean they were weak. If one were to judge by their combat strength, the Shure Clan was powerful, much stronger than the Ling Clan, which had disappeared recently. The clan had many influential figures and possessed an extremely solid foundation. Nevertheless, a super faction with such a deep foundation had once again mysteriously disappeared overnight. Just the thought of the clan's disappearance was enough to make a person feel a chill in their heart. The Shure Clan had disappeared just like the Ling Clan. Their realms had closed before their disappearance. When their realms opened again, not a single one of the millions of clan members and descendants of the citizens could be found. Not one of them remained. Many blamed the Hun Clan, but there was no evidence. Thank you very much for watching. Write in the comments what you think about the current strength of the Heavenly Palace Alliance and the Hall of Souls. Who would win? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and goodbye to everyone.